wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this one, that one, damn, it's gonna be a long night.
Hello guys, what is up? It is me, Prince of this, back here with another video. The last and final part of What If Asta was Itachi's reincarnation. And I want to apologize for not posting for 5 literal days. And also, I'm going to apologize in advance because I will not be yelling that much, as there is someone like literally next door trying to sleep. So he said it was okay to do that, but regardless, I'm going to keep it as quiet as I can. And the dogs stop barking, so that's great. So without any further ado, let's get into the final part of this series. It will be short, but it will be good. Alright, let's go. At the last part, we began with Asta quickly finding and knocking out Paltry just as the squad came in, and they all witnessed him transform into Vengeance, which was bizarre. However, a devil then showed up and it fought Asta, who destroys him before then coming out to meet everyone. They cleared the mission too quickly, but Asta explained why to the captains and only them, and they are shown that Vengeance's second personality is Paltry, and they have a meeting about it, and Asta ends up showing his plans for the elves to help them completely destroy the Spain Kingdom and stuff like that. And as he left the captains with his people, he planned to send them on a mission to the Heart Kingdom, and soon they would go. Kaono, Kiato, and Zora go to the Heart Kingdom with Mimosa, where they end up meeting Gaja, who attacks them so he can test their strength, and Zora ends up using a certain shield to block his attack that Asta had made, and then they fight. While they fight, Asta and March and Julius will be working on the bodies of the elves, and when they are called, they receive a call from Loa Pechica. There and then is when they make the alliance, and we have a time skip, and Asta makes vessels for the elves to inhabit, and he essentially reincarnates them with a pseudo reanimation jutsu, his own type. The elves are told the truth about what happened to them and join the Clover Kingdom, as all magic knights then start training and reach new levels of power. And Lumiere is back. This allows Lumiere to come back and Nero to finally meet him again, and he has about a year's worth of time. So yeah, Asta and Lick then end up stopping a fortress from the Space Kingdom from just absorbing and killing a bunch of citizens by absorbing their mana. And then Asta destroyed the remaining devil-possessed soldiers while Lix took the people to safety. He then heads back to the Clover Kingdom. Meanwhile, will be in Hodge Village, and he's about to learn something about himself, and we all know what it is. And also, he's not the vice captain, so good for you now. Meanwhile, the Ambu squad is then attacked by Dante, and they hang on, but Kaono almost dies, and Nero uses her magic to lock her injuries while Zora and Kiato fight, and almost die. What the fuck am I doing? They almost die until Asta attacks Dante with intent to kill. Now we will begin this part with the Golden Dawn side, as Raya and the Golden Dawn members stare down Zenon and his dark disciples who have just arrived on the scene. If you know what's good for you, you'll leave, man, Raya would say. And Zenon, with a stoic, stern look, simply points, and his underlings would attack with a battle cry, and so do the Golden Dawn. And Raya then charges towards Zenon, who creates a portal behind himself, surprising Raya, who falls in it with him. As Klaus blocks an attack from a devil possessed, he would then create a metal lance and rip through him, asking if anyone could send Sir Raya. No, I think the main leader might have gotten too far with him. Then you better destroy these weaklings, Langris would yell, as the Golden Dawn would then roar and increase their mana even more, and this puts a bit of actual fear in the Dark Disciples, as they cannot believe that normal humans have as much mana as they do. Inside the Golden Dawn base, we find Raya cutting through bone after bone thrown at him by Zenon, and he does so by using a light sword. Zenon, however, has closed off their signature by using his spatial magic that he had attained from the devil inside him, so that's why people can't sense them or come for them right now. You do realize what my magic is, right, Raya would say. You were screwed from the moment you showed me even a bit of your power. He would then explode with bones as well, and these bones crash into Zenon's, only for him to then nearly be pierced from behind by his own attacks, which were teleported behind him with Zenon's spatial magic. However, in that instant, he then disappears in a flash of light as the bones then collide, creating a huge explosion of mana, and the bones then retract as Zenon would then see Vengeance arrive, having saved Raya, but something is different about how he was described to the devil possessed. I heard you were cursed, Zenon would say. Not anymore. We then have a flashback to Vengeance and Paltry side by side looking at Asta, who give him a choice. I can permanently separate you. You can go back to your elven brethren, and Vengeance, I'll take care of your curse, so you might even be able to be comfortable in public. What do you say? Vengeance would then say, well, it's been real fun, huh? Yeah, it almost feels wrong to bring that up at such a time. The option is, at this point, is very obvious. It's very obvious what we should go with. You know, you saved me, Vanjas would say. I was always alone before. I didn't even have a friend. And I don't agree with everything you did, but you were my best friend. That's a bit far stretched, I mean. Vanjas, however, would say, no. If anything, you are my first friend, my only friend in the world, so thank you for accepting me. As Paltry hears these words, he would then look to Asta and ask, is it possible for us to stay together as one? Vanjas is surprised by this, saying he could just go back to his family, but Paltry says Vanjas is his family as well. Asta would then smile, saying, well, you can't be together all the time. Even I can't do that. I thought you were the Magus, Paltry would say, and Asta says, well, I'm not a god, but I can give you this. He then gives them a necklace, and as the two would grab it, they instantly get pulled together, bursting with bright light, as they then combine into one being that would stand as how he looked now before, well, Zenon, and he had, this being had Paltry's long hair, and also looked like Vanjans, but it was mostly Vanjans at the forefront, and this is when Zenon was staked. It's like a perfect fusion. Exactly, Vanjans would say. And with these words, Zenon would then release his bone magic, while Vanjans releases his new magic. Golden vines release at the speed of light, ripping through the bone magic of the devil possessed as he barely makes the spatial barrier, only for it to be cut through, and he has his torso just cut open, allowing Riot to charge and release ferocious fire arrows that leave Zenon riddled with holes. Asta, let me copy it, so you can be sure that it packs a wall up, Riot would say. Their combined power is impressive. I'll put my strength up to 50%. As he thought this, his power would then rise and release an eerie aura as the second round would then begin. Meanwhile, at the Heart Kingdom, we find Luck fighting one of Vanika's many men, and the kingdom would actually be partly left in ruins with his now enhanced magic. He and Sevkin, which is the guy that Luck is fighting, will go back and forth trading blows, but Luck just can't seem to pierce or even hurt the Dark Disciple's, body. And in a moment of lapse, he would then be caught off guard and pummeled to the ground before then starting to bounce all around, and before then landing to the side of a building and catching himself, and he still falls to the ground, and he's a bit tired, but he's in a fighting stance. He's ready to go. I really like people like you. I don't like going against someone like you. I really don't. But you should really stop fighting me. That's suicide. I'm one of Vanika's faves. I can even go 50%, Sevkin would say. As he says this, blood would then start to trickle down Luck's face as he smiles. Then why don't I just go 50% now as well? The Dark Disciple would become confused just as Luck would then make a tiger sign with his right hand, causing it to spark with intense lightning. And as if nature was calling, the lightning would sound like the chirping of birds, and the disciple felt a huge change in Luck. His magic did not rise or anything, this isn't Dragon Ball, but it was just more concentrated. In that moment, he disappeared and appeared right before the disciple, leaving a streak of lightning behind him as he would then swipe forward and appear right behind the disciple, whose heart would then be blown out as he would spew blood and begin to fall. Chidori. Like Asta says, it's not always about how much magic you have, it's about refining it. As he says this, the Chidori would then fade away, obviously, as he then falls exhausted and wonders how Leopold is doing. On the other side of the battlefield, as the Horde citizens are being healed, they watch in amazement as Leopold, combined with the Spirit Guardian of Fire, Floga, would easily destroy a cowardly disciple, and they did this much easier in this timeline by using a new move they learned called Great Majestic Flame. You can guess who that's from. Floga would then congratulate Leopold on his progress before then saying, I can't believe he does this so easily. We shouldn't compare our fire to Asta's, Leopold would say. Trust me, I tried for many years. Well, not many years. He's trying to over-exaggerate a little bit. And Floga would then laugh as the citizens would then cheer in happiness, and Charmy destroys her opponent, and she literally cooks her up. And we will now go to the castle, and as they watch the fights be finished, Mimosa, Noel, and Lolo would be very happy, as Lolo would then think, I never thought they'd advance so fast. They did it. They really did it, Mimosa would say, and they watch on in happiness. However, they would then sense something as the screens that they're staring at become blurred, with the giant wall before them being busted up as a Dark Disciple will crash in, using his gigantic and ever-extending tongue. I know I sensed it. The magic of hot girls. However, as he uses his tongue magic to go attack, in an instant, light blades will rip through it until the disciple was cross-slashed across the chest, and he would then fall over, being completely already dead. And behind him would be Lumiere and Licht, who asked for Vanika to show herself. Did you really think we've been prepared for you, Lolo Pechka would say. No, it's exactly what I love about you, Lolo. As she steps out of this little hole made, just the faint presence of this moment would cause the two elders to attack on instinct, just as she would then create a red beast made of blood, which would then block them as Vanika smiles, but then that smile would fade as she becomes bored. Was I supposed to do something? We're not done yet. As Vanica looks up, she then sees Noelle in her Valkyrie armor. She then launches a water dragon into the woman, only for the red beast to then easily disperse it once again. Undine then speaks, telling Noelle that it is time, and with those words, the two then enter Spirit Dive. And meanwhile, we go back to Luck. He managed to somewhat get up, and despite being exhausted, he's about to leave to go meet his friends, only for him to then feel overwhelming fear come over him as he then hears laughing. Slowly, he would turn to see his enemy stand up, his eyes widen. Ah, Lady Vanica really is the best. The Dark Disciple would arise as his heart re-heals quickly, and the same happens to the other disciples all over, including the one that Licht and Lumiere had previously just killed. And as the disciple attacks with his tongue magic and keeps the others preoccupied, Vanica would then be bored out of her mind, wanting to simply play with little Petrica, when Vanica's voice then rings in her head. Transform already. Vanica then asks why the devil is so agitated, and she would then say it's not time to be messing around. If you don't, something much more dangerous may happen. You mean that Asta guy? Dante's probably finished them off, she would say. He's just human. With these words, however, as if a curse were put upon her, she would be lit up in black flames, and the same goes for all the Dark Disciples all around, and the Dark Disciple before the devil possessed, and Megikula would then say, "You idiot, I warned you, that human brother of yours has died, and now it's too late, because he's here." Sorry I'm late, guys. Well, this isn't actually me. Lumiere would then say, "We get it, Asta, you don't have to explain." And as he says this, a clone of Asta then lands right before everyone, and right before his friends, as he then looks to Megikula once more, and she fades away in complete agony. On Luck's side, the disciple then dies as well, with the clone then helping him up and begin to heal him with fire, and Luck would say, "Is it over already?" "Yeah, probably." "Nah, it's done." On Charmy's side, because of course she's best girl, Asta gives her a snack once he congratulates his fellow mage, and as she thanks him, Asta would then say no problem, and at this moment, little Petrica's curse would disappear, and she almost doesn't know how to react, with the girls then hugging her as they say that they're happy that she's happy and okay. "I hope much trouble didn't come to your men," Lumiere would ask, and Asta says they held out enough. "Alright, up. And what about the last member?" Liquid asks. As he asks, if he then finds Xenon as he falls over a wall, half becoming into a whole devil, he's like in the state about to become a devil, and there would be a hole right where his heart used to be, and would have done this as he just arrived a few minutes ago. "Thank you so much," would say as he leaves his saint mode, and Bell says no problem, and exhausted he of course falls back as he is then caught not only by Vengeance but Peltry as they had just split up, and Raya would then say that they should be good for now. "So what do we do now?" Raya would ask. As he asks this, the door to the room is then busted down with all the Golden Dawn members seeing them. "Captain Vengeance, Vice Captain Yuno." Quickly they all rally and see the defeated enemy and sigh in relief, and days then pass. Yuno is a prince, so of course he has to take responsibility and rule the Space Kingdom. So he goes there, which is shocking to find out. But also, people were shocked that Asta wasn't a noble, even though he's an absolute fucking genius and monster. But some people, I guess, are just talented. That's what they thought. That way, they don't need a bloodline like that. They're just that OP. After regaining the land from the Triad, they now must distribute it back. And I mean both, like, the Clover Kingdom and the Space Kingdom and the Heart Kingdom. They must distribute it because they did this together. This means the war has ended, and as such, Lumiere leaves, and the construction of the Elf Forest begins. The reconstruction, technically. And the elves form the alliance with no humans. Not at all. They just form one with Asta, Julius, and the Black Bulls. Yes, they are humans, but like specific friends. They're not just gonna be happy with all humans. They've learned their lesson. They ain't trusting everybody. They're trusting people that they've spent time with. Almost, a whole 6 months with, training and grueling training with, Yeah. So this means, returns to the Space Kingdom to, perform his duties. He has to be an actual king, which kind of sucks, but I mean, there's value in things like that. He and little Petrica make an alliance, and the kingdoms come together and become even stronger. Mars becomes the king of the Diamond Kingdom and joins the alliance, making them all stronger. And already, the Clover Kingdom is already in an alliance with the Heart Kingdom, so that already makes them part of the alliance as well. 2 months later, as Asta does some paperwork, he senses something as he would then snap his fingers with his doors to his office being open just as Merliona was about to kick them down. "You can't let me have any fun, can you?" she would say. Behind her would be all the other captains, as Asta would then ask, "How is it fun to kick down my door?" "That's not the point," Merlin would say. "Come on, there's a party already downstairs, trying to get you rowdy over here." Asta would then sense a bunch of people as he then walks out to the balcony, And down below he sees all the squads hanging out together, even those from the Blue Rose. I never thought you'd authorize this, Charlotte-senpai. Well, today is a day for celebration. I'll set aside my rule just this one time, she would say. Another familiar at this moment is then felt as everyone would then see the gates be opened for Yuno, who steps in with his royal guards behind him. Oh wow, it's the King's Spade. I can't believe he used to be one of us. Hey Yuno, how you doing? They would say, as seeing his captain from above, Yuno would then smile and slightly bow, with Vanjans doing the same. Good to see you without the mask, sir. Vanjans would then say thank you, as Klaus at this moment would then run out towards Yuno, wanting to say hi, but almost feels awkward as he approaches. Should I be calling you your majesty? I just feel kinda... Hell no. Please don't, Yuno would say. I already have enough of that back home. While a bit surprised, Klaus would then show a warm smile as the Golden Dawn members are happy to see that he hasn't changed, and the newbies, like, that have joined the squad are happy that he's so friendly like that. And he's just like the people who had known him described. And the royal guards would also just laugh at it because it took them a bit to get used to how carefree Yuno is despite being a literal king. And Yuno would then say, besides, I came to party. With a snap of his fingers, he would then make his guards all simultaneously bring out wine, and everyone would be wowed as Magna would then say, well, now that's what I'm talking about, come in. And who put you in charge, Zoro would yell. But yeah, come in. Why does it even matter? Magna would ask. It matters because I say so. As the two begin to stare down, the guards and Yuno would then enter, with Yuno then saying hi to his comrades, as Alec would then ask, so, how does it feel to be a king? It's tiring, but worth it. I wonder if this is how Sir Julius always felt. And Alec would then say, as long as it doesn't change you too much, but I'll let you go on your way. You came here to see him, right? Yuno then looks to see Asta, as Alador would then wish him luck, and with an almost nervous breath, Yuno would then fly up and land beside Asta, as the captains then head down, as to let the brothers, of course, talk. So, Asta would say, it must have been a lot of paperwork, huh? Yuno's nervousness would then almost just fade away instantly as he says, yes, it took so much time to fill out just everything. They have paperwork for literally everything. What the hell? Want to talk about it? Asta would ask, and Yuno with a smile would then say yes, as they then head inside Asta's office, and that brings us to the end of this series. Welcome to the end of the video. Like I said, it is very, very short compared to how long my series usually are, or my parts usually are, but I don't want to do too much because it sounds like I'm forcing it if I do. So regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you didn't, well, you can feel free to dislike. Oh wait, you can't. Maybe we should start a petition to get YouTube to bring that back. I actually missed the dislikes. Can we bring the dislikes back? Some videos actually suck. Point being, I hope you did like this, but this is honestly nothing compared to when I put out What If Deku Had Whitebeard's powers. I'm just waiting for some new equipment to come in, because I'm actually going to be using Adobe Premiere Pro and edit this shit, because I want more disk space so I can actually edit, and that shit's hard to actually do on a laptop that has like 50 gigabytes. That's really not much. But yeah, wait for the special. It is coming. It will be about 50 minutes long. Yeah, so it's not an hour because I'm not doing 1 hour videos constantly for specials now, but it will be a movie regardless, but the series will continue on. I assume it will have about 10 parts, but I'm making like almost every part 50 minutes long, so that's why it doesn't matter if it's short or yeah, it's technically short. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay safe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all of my videos, and watch the playlist for this completed series now. And the next video will be What If Asta Was Yuta's Reincarnation. Peace.
Oh darling, if I had bought you flowers, would you still be here by my side?